Alright, let's get started. First of all, you're probably going to be Azura if you do this. You're gonna take that off, you want to turn left, and then what I do is just drop a chew, target at the same time, and then take another chew out, walk a step or two, and then shield drop that, and roll right as you drop it. So it looks a little something like this. I guess you want to be... No, you'd be turned around after taking the Zora mask off, that's why I did that. So, I just did that, I think, absent-mindedly, albeit. At this point, you want to pause during some explosion frame. As long as you see one, you should be fine. Pause and hold ESS. No promises on me holding ESS here. Yep. But it's going to look something like that. And I should have saved that position. Let me do it again, except I saved that position. This will be close enough. Okay. So whenever I warp, I'll do that to recreate the scene. So, a lot better than going to that. Something like this. Alright. Now you want to target not so rapidly, that way you turn a lot more and you don't get caught here and then go back there into the side cage, whatever you want to call it. But it's good if you're wide down here, if you're on the left side, that way you can start turning earlier, and I'll get to why that's important later. Okay, don't drop ESS. This is very lenient, I think. You don't have to put much effort into it. Says the guy who targeted it. Now, you want to try to turn as soon as possible, preferably before you get to the sand itself, because there are a couple problem levers, including that one, and two others that are along the way. However, if you start turning early, they will not be a problem. You're going to be really tempted to turn more, like, about here is your goal, I want to say. This angle specifically, doesn't matter where. That way you don't hit the fence where the Goron roll ramp is that goes over the water, where the 20 rupee chest, I think it is at. So that's the goal. If you're not turned this much, then if you try to target to try to fix your angle, which you're going to be really tempted to do, you're going to target a leader and you're going to be really sad. You're going to hit the wall. You're going to be way off on your angle, and it's just going to be generally aggravating. So target early, as soon as possible, preferably while you're here, or before you hit the sand. Then you're just gonna hold ESS. That one and two others along the way. The third one, and I guess the second one, and this one, wasn't even an issue this time. So that's nice. Keep going a little further. I would say a little further. Okay, we see the grass, that should be plenty. At this point, you're gonna want to switch to ESS right. And not drop it like I did. Let me just... I'm going to reset the area just to reset the levers. Nice. I haven't practiced much today. Alright, pause will reset your target, so be careful with that. You don't want to target one of the shoes when you're dropping. Okay. Something like that. There's the other lever. Then once you get past that second lever, if you're still not great on your aim, you want to make sure you make it past that fence on the left there. Then do another target after that lever. You should be fine once it goes down. And the other lever didn't even come up, so we're good. We want to go way further. Unfortunate, to be sure. But I got to explain the HESS itself a little bit more. That was one of my main concerns. Okay, this should be fine. Alright. Okay, this was not quite fine. I should have done another angle change. Get out of it, wait for that one to go down, do another angle change. Should have gone a little further. Now Now in this case, I had to correct like crazy, so I want to go back. And I went too far. There we go. That is not nearly optimal in any way, shape, or form, but that is about how you want to do it. I'm going to go a little more into detail about the shoe HESS itself now. This is specifically for flat ground. I've heard that if you try to do this, say, on the moon, it might be a little different. I want to say the timing for dropping the second and rolling for the second shoe is going to be different. I don't know for sure. So just make sure that if you're going to do this kind of HESS, not the rest of it obviously, that's going to be different based on the terrain itself, but just make sure for this timing use flat ground wherever you're going to do it on. So, like I said, you're going to start walking forward, drop a chew, then you're going to pull a chew, wait a half a second or so, walk a step or two, and you're going to roll into the chew. I'll break it down more later. But as far as the important parts for how it works, the goal is to explode the chew that you dropped second. That's going to then initiate a chain where the second chew explodes. This adds frames basically for what works. You can release target and just hold ESS right at this point. I don't think I held ESS right. But at that point, the other chew is going to explode because it's in the radius, and then we're basically HESSing off of that first chew that we laid out. So, again, I should have gotten Kizzy, but start walking forward, shield drop a chew, pull the next chew, let the chew go a little bit, shield drop this one, roll, hold forward. If you don't hold forward during this, then the chew itself, the second chew will not explode. So just keep holding forward until the chew explodes. You don't have to do it on the first frame necessarily, maybe let it go another frame. Then start holding ESS right, ESS left, whatever you want to hold, ESS. And release target specifically. And there you go. That's how you do it. Except hold ESS for longer, of course. It's not too bad, you just want to make sure that after dropping the first chew, you wait half a second. Here's what happens if you try to do it at the same time. You get damaged during the roll, both chews get exploded immediately. It's because you're basically blowing up the first chew. And here's what happens if you do it with just one chew. You do explode a chew. However, if you wait, that's why this first chew that you drop gets exploded later on, it's not immediate. That's the premise of the trick. You're giving yourself an extra explosion frame, I think, basically. And that's what allows you to get a fast test. So, I did it way too early. Just like that. Optimally, you would want to go the other way for two reasons. It makes the angle change easier. If I had let that out, I would have hit the wall. That's why targeting a lever is bad. Where was I earlier? The two reasons. Oh yeah. It's a little faster because you basically cut out an angle change. So if you're pause buffering your angle changes, you want to do as few angle changes as possible. Now, while I'm here, I'm just going to go into detail about the other one real quick. The other one isn't so bad. You don't have the levers to target to worry about. And that only saves like 1 second, basically going that way. At most, it might not even be a full second. What you can instead do is go this way. It's a lot safer, in my opinion. You're going to want to go right instead, not left. And then it's basically like going to the Swamp Gossip's gossip hole. If you're not familiar, I'm sure you are if you're watching this. It's right over there to the right of that far patch of grass, basically. High grass. But instead our goal is over there. So, it's going to look a little something like this. And we're going to want to hold... I apologize, I wasn't thinking about the angle changing. We're going to want to hold ESS left, right? No, we're going to want to hold ESS right. That way we go to the left and back. And that's to eliminate any angle changes over there. I might not have done that in a timing video, I forget at this point. But basically something like this. If you target too early, or pause too early, I would just recommend holding forward. This might not work. You might need a sharper angle. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna let's grab right there. Let's try something like this. Is this the same angle? by holding forward. Holding forward might be the best bet, because you can always do an extra target. Alright. If I didn't do an extra target, that would be good, but otherwise I'm gonna hit the ledge. There we go. Something like that. You want to ride along that wall. I think it's safest. And then what I usually look for is when I can see the... wait to look it up. There we go. You see that red stripe on the right? That's the huge... what do you want to call that? Entrance to South Clocktown, I guess you could say. That's one of the steps. This is when I would start angle changing. It's a safe visual cue. Looks like you can do it a little sooner, but then just do a couple targets, and then boom, you're in. I would recommend doing that. That's just so much safer. You don't have to worry about the levers. You don't have to worry about making it into the what you would call it, the ramp, I guess, that leads to the beach. It's generally a lot easier the other way. It's a second at most, I want to say, so even the advanced where people would go for this probably, I want to say, I don't know for sure. However, a quick note that on top of all of this, if you don't want to do that, you don't really have to worry, because you're Zora anyways, because you don't want to talk to the guard. If you were to shield turn right, or not shield turn, but just turn right, walk around somewhere like here, usually I go to when I can see the backside of that basically. Jump down here, do another roll, turn around, don't do a quick turn around, otherwise you target that guy there. That's always annoying. Maybe backflip over the trunk if you're going to hit it. Side hops in or whatever, and that's only about 5 or 6 seconds slower I think than the HESS's, so take your pick. Is the 2 HESS worth it? That's for you to decide as a runner, if you want to do it or not. As for me, I have no idea. I saw the link route. So, I'm going to leave that off there. If you have any questions, hit me up in the server. Don't use YouTube comments. I haven't had any questions in there, but generally I don't keep up here. I just post things here. So, good luck, have fun, guys.